Hey guys, Eric from Team Rec here. We are here with Bazil Batise, a familiar face on this channel. The Winnipeg Regional Qualifier for Duels Advance just concluded today, and he managed to take what?
Second place!
Let's
I
go.
hate to tell you, but I think I cracked the code on Dramatail.
Cracked the code?
Yeah, let's
this guy's
get into the
cracking
deck
many
profile.
codes. Yeah, we'll go right into the deck and hit him with the shout outs after.
I'd like to preface this by saying I
hear
really
it.
do think I figured something out. I think I came up with this. If I'm wrong, sue me, but I haven't seen any other decks run this, so let's get into it, yeah?
Right into it? All right, let's go.
So your standard 3 of each name, you know what they do. Obviously, Fireman is the best card. Malulu was underperforming for me today, but every time I saw Lucius, I was feeling good. For the other Dramatail cards, to fit in some of my non-engine engine, I really trimmed down on them. So I'm only on one of the big guys, just to break boards. Urgula is so insane. The bouncing back of Fimina or Lucius just to get you into more plays. Powerful, powerful card. The 3 of King of the Swamp. This guy is going to get you into Dragoon and a couple other name-specific cards. And the Poly is also like the best board breaker in the deck because you can make Guardian Chimera. Every time Guardian Chimera hits the field, you're winning the game. But here's the code cracker. I was on 3 raw Dramaturge of Despia in the main. For those of you who don't know what he does, if he's fused off and sent to the graveyard or banished, he comes back. He's a massive 3,000 attack. And then, anytime Link exceeds fusion, Synchro Monster is special summoned. Not summoned by their own mechanic, but special summoned. He can target a card and negate it. So you were breaking people's boards with Arthalion, setting your follow-up, and summoning this guy to stop their follow-up. And most of my games today ended where I was putting 6,000 and 9,000 damage on the board, breaking their board, they'd have to pass back, and I was cracking in for well over lethal. This card was so good for me. I bricked on it like a couple times, but the other thing is, like, that's just gonna happen. That's statistics. Every time I saw it, I was feeling good. So it was fun running 3 of in the main. Honorary engine card, the 1 of Magnamut. You don't see him too often, and he doesn't come up in every matchup these days, but you gotta run him. Searching out dragons just feels good. For the hand traps, the lineup was your cards to stop Charmies, and your Charmies to stop your opponent. I was actually super happy to be able to run Perulia and Fulos today. Shoutouts to Cam for letting me borrow his Perulias. But I was expecting a lot of Yummy, so Perulia, Fulos, hits them both, and it gets you into those really crucial cards like King of the Swamp, like your Fimina, like Despia and Dramaturge, and that's why I was confident running 3 of each of those because, well, you might not see him. Well, you're going to. These cards are insane. For the rest of the non-engine hand trap stuff, I was on 3 Nib. I was loving Nib today. I think every time it resolved, I won, so I can't complain. You know, a lot of people are overextending into it. When you break boards with Arthalion, they kind of have to keep pushing, and then Nib helps punish that a little bit better. We're on a clean 40, 30 of it being monsters for the 8 spells. Naturally, the 3 of Rahu and Kitu. Kitu's insane. Breaks boards, makes your best fusion, and branded fusion is equally as good, but Kitu felt like the star of the show. I was glad to run maxed out on the spells. It's weird because all of the Dramatails have to set from deck. The dragons have to set from deck to get their additional effect. It never came up where I didn't have something to set to get that additional effect, but there were a couple close calls where if the game went longer, maybe. Again, most of the time I was just OTKing with 9,000 plus damage. Lastly, a couple spells, the Poly to search with King of the Swamp, and Instant Fusion. Oh my god, I cannot sing the praises of Instant Fusion enough. We're making Millennium Eyes Restrict with this, and my opponents got to learn with me that Millennium Eyes Restrict is not hard once per turn. So I was preventing effects from happening, like Valiant the Sky Blasters pop my set Dramatail trap, fusing off the Millennium Eyes Restrict to make Secretarian Dragon, bringing it back, and then negating my opponent's Gulamela did. I negated Typhon, but Instant Fusion felt wonderful today. The other thing too is you can make Millennium Eyes natively to the deck if you open King of the Swamp. Lastly, one of each trap. I wouldn't run any more. They were a little bricky, and honestly, going second, I was siding these out. Like I said, I'm breaking boards, and then I'm killing my opponent. So they're fun when you're going first, but not the focal point of the deck.
Sorry, how many cards in main?
Exactly 40.
Clean 40. You gotta love to see it.
Yes, sir. For the extra deck, I think it's pretty stock standard what people are doing, but I'll go over it really quick. One Jacob. We got the one Typhon, just in case we had to break any boards. I never got to make him today, but that's probably for the better. The one Spirit with Eyes of Blue. This guy's just to make seals, and also to trigger your Despian Dramaturge. I had a situation where I broke my opponent's board. They had 2 pass to me on Infinity, so I went normal summon Lucius, search, nothing on res, link into Spirit, chain link 1 Dramaturge, target Infinity to bait out the negate, and then it was smooth sailing from there. One Donner. This was for Contact Seek, and it turns out it's just as good at killing Baguskas to get lethal. It came up in finals. Unfortunately, I did have to lose to the better man from Thunder Bay in finals, but I think Donner's earned his place in the deck. Seals, that definitely deserves a spot. Every game where I made Seals, I felt like I couldn't lose, and I think that's where you're supposed to be when you're summoning this card. And lastly, SP. I think it's a necessary evil. I didn't have to make it today, but I think in games where it gets a little grindy and there's sticky cards that you really need to banish, you can definitely do the legwork to summon SP. But that's everything but the fusions, of which we're on 10 of. So the aforementioned Millennium Eyes, love this card today. I didn't hard make it, but naturally when you open instant fusion, it's hard to lose, being insulated from hand traps and the other weird things that are happening on your turn in the big format of 25. The one of Gulamel, I know everyone's divisive on 1 or 2 Gulamel. I prefer 1 Gulamel and 3 Arthelion, and that's the list that got me to second today. Tyrant Dragon, I've heard it's really good in grind games because you can set cards from your grave. That's great. I think it's in there mostly in case you do run into the rogue trap deck, and I'd love to cut this guy, but I think he's supposed to stay in there just in case Labyrinth does make an appearance. This card I'm not sold on, another one I didn't get to make today. Again, I'm told it's really, really good against Mitsurugi as you're banishing their ritual monsters. So, didn't see any Mitsurugi today. Maybe he'll have another day to shine. Dragoon, I made him a bunch of times. I'm not in love with it. I don't like discarding. It's a hefty cost to pay to negate something, but he is a very difficult monster to remove. And naturally, since you're on King of the Swamp, he kind of has to stick around. Now, Secretarian Dragon. Oh my god. I've heard people say that they hate Secretarian Dragon, they're cutting it from the list, and I think they're trying to play it as a floodgate. This guy, I'm dropping on the board. I'm putting up another 3,000 attack next to him with his effect, and I'm swinging in with that other 3,000 I got off Dramaturge, and I'm OTKing my opponent. I loved Secretarian Dragon. I played multiple mirrors today, never had to make him for the floodgate effect, only made him to kill people. Love this card. Guardian Chimera, I already spoke about it. If you King of the Swamp, search your poly, summon Guardian Chimera, you're blowing up your opponent's board and paving your way to knock them out of the game. And then the aforementioned 3 copies of Arthelion. These are very important when you get a PE minor because Spirit of Eyes of Blue locks you into only summoning dragons, meaning you can't make Gulamel, and you have to summon your 3rd copy of Arthelion. The 3rd copy never really comes up, but quite frankly, I'd rather have it in there and not need it than need it and not have it in there. And that rounded out what I think was a very solid extra deck. Moving on to my side options, pretty targeted stuff. We've got the Troll in case I saw Mitsu Raziel. I don't think I sided it in once because I didn't see Mitsu Raziel. Same thing can be said for Lancia, didn't see Malice. Contact C came in like all the time. In the mirror, against Yummy, you drop Contact C even against the new Canine cards. They can't do anything with this. I had it an opponent, he just kind of blundered it. He was sitting on Contact C from his previous turn, and during my turn, he summons his Lupus, and I'm like, well, you got Contact C, so Lupus isn't turning into anything here. Love this card. The same thing can be said for the 3 strikes and the 3 warnings. Honestly, I'd probably try mess around with Judgment. There were a couple blowout spells and traps, like Talents, Thrust, Obedience School that I'd have liked to negate, and I just didn't have a card to do so. But I was overall happy with the 15. I think these are subject to change depending on a ban list. But for a run where my matchups were like Yummy, Dramatail, Yummy, Canine Crystron, and then Lunalate, which was what took me out in finals, I'd say it performed pretty well. 3 days of practice, by the way.
Let's go solid deck. Let's hear the shout-outs.
Oh, of course I got shout-outs. First and foremost, my mother. She is the reason I decided to get so good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Massive shout-out to Jacob, because he lent me literally all of the Dramatail cards. Big shout-out to Cam. He lent me his Perulias. And also shout-out to Kayvon. I was not going to play this deck initially, and he decided he would lend me some Dominus Purges, including a QCR. So thank you, Kayvon, even though I didn't use them. Naturally, the rest of the folks that traveled with me, the T-Bay crew, Team Rec, and anyone else who watches these videos. Big Gichimigwech to, the cameraman for filming, Winnipeg for being great sports, and RC Domingo for being a guy that looks like Flim Flam from the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
All right, thanks Basil. Stay tuned for more deck profiles. We have a couple more from this regional. Take care, everybody. Anything else you want to say? All right, peace out.